Welcome, everyone, to an all new episode of the Wagers on Campus College Football Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. We greatly appreciate it. And Burns and I, Xander and I, every single week, we hop on here and we talk college football and the upcoming slate of games. And this week, we're going to be talking week number 6. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you could share with your friends or with your family, any ball lovers out there, we would greatly appreciate it. And with that said, I am Mayor, and as always, I'm joined by Xander. And
Hello.
we're talking ball. We're talking week 6. And Xander, how you feeling about everything?
Yep, another middling week for the boys. Another successful week for me, just torpedoed by my best bets getting hammered. Suffered a couple 99% wins turning into losses, so that was pretty solid. Really good stuff there. Overall, a frustrating week, and yeah, I can't wait to get back into it. This is a gritty slate, so this is where boys become men when you look at this slate.
Well, I agree. And it's about time that I grow up because I am coming off another ugly week. 4-5-1 on the week. I know you had me down as a win for TCU, but they pushed against Arizona State. I got to put my hand up on that.
Oh, okay.
A lock, I went with under 47.5 in Utah versus West Virginia. And what annoys me about that pick is that I knew West Virginia couldn't score a lick, which is why I ended up going with the under. But I guess I didn't account for the possibility of Utah scoring like 50 points. So, yeah, that one sucked. So 4-5-1 on the week, another lock loser, and let's turn it around. Let's turn it around here in week 6.
Yeah, we had the opposite lock. We should have just switched locks. Freaky Friday at our locks. Because mine over 47.5. Same exact number as yours. Got to chuckle at that when I was typing it out, making the graphic.
Right.
And mine couldn't have played 8 quarters and got to the over. Talk about Indiana, but they might be a chameleon, one of those chameleon teams that just plays to the level of their opponent. Very disappointed in that offense. I don't think Iowa's defense is that good. And obviously, Gronowski getting hurt in this, wherever they grow Iowa quarterbacks, that guy is the backup. And it was just like last year all over again. The guy could barely complete a forward pass. So, yeah. And yeah, just tough stuff. Tough stuff. But we survive in advance, as always. Above 500, we're just going to keep licking, keep getting our licks back.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We'll finish the year strong. Still a lot of ball left to cover. Sorry about my dog barking in the background. Winston, he's just excited. So you want to talk about last week? You want to talk about some of the games last week? Where do you want to go here?
Yeah, absolutely. Start off with the winners and losers again. You can just spitball off these. This is what I was able to get from last week. You know, there's a lot of winners, a lot of losers. These are the top 3. Thought Oregon, biggest winner, obviously. Alabama, second biggest winner, and Ohio State. Just went with teams this week on the winners. Oregon, how can you say they weren't a winner? They went into Happy Valley. If you had Penn State -3 like Mayor and I did, when will we ever learn? Just when will we ever learn?
Exactly. When will we ever learn? When Penn State made the push and got it into overtime, I don't know.
Scored on the first possession.
And scored on the first possession. Exactly. What an avalanche that was. But from that game, I got to say, I was pretty impressed by Dante Moore and his ability to make throws on the run. I thought he made some really athletic plays in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have some questions about him. I thought Penn State's defense looked softer than expected coming into the season. This is the first time we've seen him against true talent. I thought it was very conservative play. I mean, it was fucking 3-3 at half. I mean, what a fucking stinker it was for most of this game.
Yeah.
And then Penn State. I mean, what game plan was that? What fucking game plan was that? Coming out, doing absolutely nothing, trying to. I mean, they didn't throw one thing over the top. It was, I do like Dylan Thieneman, who transferred from Purdue, probably Oregon's best defensive player, safety, who ended up getting that last interception. That kid is a freak. But other than that, I mean, once they finally push it down the field, they score 2 touchdowns late. Yeah, Alex, I was thinking about this earlier this week. You think of programs like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, um, in USC's back in the day, they had identities. That's why they're always the favorites. That's always why there's so much pressure. And Alabama physical, Ohio State wide receivers and a physical defense. Even LSU has a bit of an identity, but Penn State, year in and year out, they're expected. They have all these expectations from pundits and fans, but what is their identity, especially under James Franklin? Like Saquon was like, let's talk about the run. They have a lot of good defensive ends, but no wide receivers, no standout defensive backs in my mind, or any sort of big games in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think Penn State would tell you their identity is we want to play good defense and we want to run the ball effectively. I think the problem with them right now, with that specifically, is the run the ball part. I mean, Nick Singleton, who had just massive expectations coming into the year alongside Katron Allen. I mean, Singleton's having a disappointing year so far, even though Katron Allen's doing pretty well. So I think the run game is part of that problem, to answer your question. And in my opinion, Drew Aller is just not the guy that you want back there on a 3rd and 8 or a 3rd and 10 consistently. I don't think he's a horrible quarterback, but I think there are better options that could elevate this Penn State team to a different level, especially in the clutch time moments. And I just don't think Aller is that type of quarterback.
I mean, none of the Hackenberg, McSorley, what's the most recent one? Clifford. Yeah, I mean, Clifford has I think he's Penn State's leading quarterback in passing yards. How crazy that is. None of these guys, they all just, I don't know. I almost think that maybe they would have been better off for their fans for that team to get the death penalty a decade and a half ago. So they just never have expectations and defeat every single year.
Yeah. I mean, talk about a brutal loss. It is a long season. They still have an opportunity to do everything that they want to do, but very gut-wrenching loss in this one. They had everything going for them. White out at home.
So let me ask you this, because we're going to talk about this with another team as well. Does it come down to must win against Ohio State? Because let me reel off these teams: UCLA, Northwestern, Iowa, Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, Rutgers. If those are their only wins with their soft-ass non-conference and they lose to Oregon and Ohio State, should they even be considered an at-large?
I think they would get in. Where's the Indiana game at?
It's at Penn State.
In Iowa?
At Iowa.
Did you say they play Illinois as well?
No.
I think they would get in, but there's a chance that they wouldn't. I guess it depends on the other teams in college football and what they're up against. But
I mean, with Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, all up, Big 12 seems to be showing some life. Texas Tech, Arizona State back, TCU formidable. I don't know, dude.
I don't think your question is unfair, but I think people would look at the win against Indiana and say, okay, that was a really nice win, and then just take the whole thing into like cumulatively and just say, yeah, with the 12-team format, I'd say it's more likely that they get in than not if that's what ends up happening. That would just be my prediction.
Yeah. And before we get to the other two winners, the fourth winner not mentioned, Notre Dame, completely ass stomped. Just making up phrases now. Arkansas, that Sam Pittman is fired. We'll talk about that in the loser statement, news and notes. But 42 points in the first half. This game almost didn't get over, which had me nervous for a second. It's 42-13 at half, and it was 43-13 into the fourth quarter. Fucking insane. But that leaves the same question. Arkansas loses. They're going to have to obviously hand Boise another loss. North Carolina State loses to Virginia Tech. Does a 10-2 Notre Dame with the remainder of their schedule, and they have Pitt. Oh, don't get me started about Pitt. They're in our loser statement here. But does a 10-2 Notre Dame get in your mind?
I would say yeah. I would say
yeah. What's the point of playing the schedules? If you lose to your hard teams and then just put a resume of cake together.
I know. I hear you. I'm just trying to predict what will actually happen, not if I was the decision maker.
I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your decision. Would you put Notre Dame 10-2 in, or would you leave them out?
It depends how they look, and it depends how the teams that they end up playing end up panning out. But at first glance, it doesn't look pretty because, like you said, Arkansas, whoop-de-doo, they beat Purdue. They got Pitt. I know they have USC.
Yeah, it's next week.
Overall, the schedule isn't that hard.
2 weeks from now.
Overall, the schedule is not hard.
Well, let me pose you this way: 4 SEC teams 10-2. Obviously, one's Texas A&M. They're in over Notre Dame, head-to-head on the road.
Yeah.
Another one's Ole Miss. Would you have Ole Miss in over Notre Dame?
I mean, at this point, I think you would have to. Ole Miss has had the more impressive resume.
Georgia?
We'll see. But I guess I don't know. We'll see.
Alabama.
Based on the way they're trending, yes.
So there's a guaranteed 3, maybe 4. Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's going to be tough. The way ACC better get some respect, and same with the Big 12. ACC got 2 in last time. A little bit of a wacky situation. This year, I think they're more deserving. I think they have more than one playoff team. SMU Clemson last year was Clemson really spoiled everything, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I don't think they should be in. I think they blew it to start the season. This is a different team. Their defense is showed up a little bit. Obviously, they're going to get better through the season. Contain Taylor and Green, but still some holes there.
Yeah.
Yards were gained.
Yeah.
Bama, outside of not scoring a point in the second half, they pull out against Georgia. This was one of the 99% overs at halftime. Goes under. One of my best bets of the week. Oh, this one stung. I was already counting those chickens like a dumbass. Yeah. Overall thoughts of Bama. I thought they were a big winner this week.
Overall thoughts on Bama is their offense is legit, and their quarterback really knows how to distribute the ball to his playmakers. I think it's just a combination of it all, Burns, when you see an offense clicking. You got good players, you have a good scheme, the play calling seems to be meshing, and they still have a lot of meat on the bone. As you mentioned, not scoring any points in the second half, but still coming away with a win, which is a good sign for their defense as well, and just overall playing good, cohesive football. So, I mean, at this point, I'm buying Alabama stock, and that is primarily because of the quarterback play. Ty Simpson is a lot better than I thought he was going to be, especially after the first game against Florida State. And in hindsight, he didn't even play that poorly in that game. The team played poorly, but he's been really impressive in my eyes.
Sure. Yeah, didn't turn the ball over. Played a very timid second half. Obviously, Georgia's wide open wide receiver, Turner, dropping that ball. Oh, man. That's
freshman, right?
Yeah, that's just something you don't see in Georgia football and national championship winning teams right there.
It changed the whole game.
It did. It really did. And really solidified the under.
Right.
I'd say one big thing, though, is Georgia was getting whatever they wanted on the ground. Alabama was also gashed by Florida State. Vanderbilt this week, when we talk about that game, a lot of wacky run schemes and should be able to establish a ground game. And obviously, Pavia's legs challenge a lot. So that is one concern. Not exactly your full Saban Bama still, but I am a little, I'd say I'm concerned. I'm on the hot seat for my hot seat prediction on DeBoer.
Yeah, you are. It's just weird to see Alabama and Georgia not up to the standard that we have grown accustomed to seeing them over these last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. They're just neither one of them is as good. And I think specifically what I'm referring to is on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a head scratcher. And it was like that before, like right after the national championship, right after Stetson Bennett left. Like last year, Georgia just didn't feel like, obviously they lost. Everyone feels like they might have 27 players from those national championship teams on defense in the NFL. I mean, that's how dominant they were.
Exactly.
Ohio State went on the road and just completely dominated. Another game held under 10 points. This fit into my best bets for the under in this game, and that was rocking chair. This game was never sniffing that. I'd say Ohio State really, first time, truly impressed me this season. That I was worried about the speed of Damon Williams, and he could go nowhere. Ohio State, once again, red zone issues, got stopped their first drive and fumbled a punt on Washington's 20. That's right. They caught it at the 50. Innes made a great move. He almost took it to the house and fumbled in Washington's red zone. So quick 2 turnovers in the first quarter. Otherwise, this game could have been very lopsided. Red zone defense looks like the same from last year. Best red zone defense by far in the country, keeping them out of the end zone twice. Did you get a chance to watch any of this game?
Just a little.
Thoughts?
Man,
I have a conspiracy.
I think the podcast deserves to hear your thoughts first, at least on this one.
I just have a conspiracy, looking back, hindsight from last year, that Ryan Day is playing with 50% of his playbook. Like when you look at that playoff run and just everything about it, explosive plays after explosive plays, were nowhere in any sort of game scheme in any of the games leading up. And maybe that's his biggest problem with Michigan. He's getting a little too arrogant. And I think he is the first coach to adapt to, not many other coaches can by prestige, but is like, we can lose 2 games and we're in the playoff. All we care about is national championships. And so, did you know that Ohio State is now by 0.1, they are the slowest team in the country. They had 6 possessions this game.
No idea.
Yeah, they're taking 33 seconds of play. They were winding that clock almost all the way down every time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the way I see it, Burns, is that you're the diehard Ohio State fan, so I'd be curious to hear your take on it. But I think there's some truth to what you're saying about Day. I got to imagine that they are just they got Julian saying on the developmental track. They just want to improve his confidence a little bit each and every week. So by the time the playoffs roll around, they really can, make sure that he's feeling very confident about everything that he's asked to do. And I think so far he's done well. And just from an outsider's perspective, I mean, I know they have the stud wide receivers, obviously, with Jeremiah Smith, who, like, we're not even hearing his name so far this year. At least that's what it feels like from an outsider. And defensively, I mean, it just appears that they are just so absolutely dominant on the defensive side of the ball that it's going to just be incredibly difficult to knock them out in the playoff. I think Ohio State has a style. I think they know their identity. I think they know that at the end of the day, similar to the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL, that all you got to do is get a win. I mean, they know their strengths and they play to those strengths and they manage the game well. That's kind of how I interpret Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, I also want to give a shout out to my guy Ryan talking me down. Shout out Ryan. It's completely out of my gourd calling Julian Say and Kyle McCord 2.0. It's definitely more of a CJ Stroud 2.0. Really impressed this week. I mean, on the road in one of the toughest road stadiums to play in, getting into the evening. Yeah, he did everything correct. Didn't turn the ball over. He's got a good future. And for outsider looking in, Jeremiah Smith is currently third in the Heisman odds. He scored in every game. Yeah.
Wow. What do you make of their run game without Travion and Judkins? Like, how does it compare so far?
Very pleased this last week. Their true freshman, Bo Jackson, no relation. And then their transfer, CJ Donaldson. James Peoples was the guy coming in, even with lesser opponents. You know, he just wasn't the guy. Not big. Bo Jackson is just a imposing figure. I think they found another two-headed monster with those two. Donaldson, a lot more of the kind of between the tackles type power back. Bo Jackson, way more athletic, versatile. So, yeah, we'll see. But just keep moving it downfield. We'll see. They have at Illinois is a weird game next week, and they have host Minnesota this week, which is a very low total.
Yeah. Sure.
Biggest losers. Yeah, I kind of talked about it. How can you back James Franklin, Drew Aller? Tennessee fans. This is an outside one. See it on Twitter. See it in my group messages I'm in. All right, UCLA sucks. We get it. Why is everything about Nico? Like, you guys are fine. Why is every single thing bashing Nico? I just don't. Just move on. Like, it was funny maybe week 1 or 2. But, yeah, I think it's a loser move, loser mentality to just continue to harp on a kid for wanting to do what's best for him. And then Pat Narduzzi. Pat, you're dead to me. You're dead to me. Second time in 3 weeks. Pitt has completely dropped the ball. Did you watch this game at all? The noon game?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Did you tail Pittsburgh with me?
I laid off the game.
Yeah. Smart, Alex. Was on them money line. They're up 17-0. Louisville comes back, ties it on a very, very suspect fair catch interference call. Anyway, Pitt goes up 10 again. So they lose. They let them come back, tie the game. Pitt goes up again, 27-17. Lose by 7. 2 late turnovers. Man. Horrific game planning. Just horrific execution. Pitt's punter just straight up dropped the punt. And yeah, this team's dead. It's a dead team, Mayor. I just don't even know what to say. Pat Narduzzi and Luke Fickell are like a rock'em sock'em robots of who's going to get fired next.
Unfortunately, you're right. I mean, the West Virginia collapse was unbelievable, and it sounds like they could not get out of their own way against Louisville. And I kind of thought the same thing watching that game. Like, Louisville tied the game, like you mentioned, and it didn't even feel like Louisville really even did anything.
Yeah, they didn't. That's what was crazy. And West Virginia's defense kind of showed up with a nice pick six. Oh man, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But it is spooky season, Alex. So maybe I kill the man just to resurrect him in the SICKO slate later on.
Okay.
Can't wait. Yeah. And then week 5 news. Did you see anything of note that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I just want to talk about week 5, just a couple other games real quick, not harp
Yeah.
on them too much at all. But
No, please.
Virginia with a big statement win Friday night against Florida State. Man, that Virginia quarterback.
Chandler Morris.
Yeah, Chandler Morris, dude. He is, as Cover 3 likes to say, whoopsie daisy king. I mean, you never know what you're going to get from that guy, but he sure is entertaining.
Hell yeah. He's definitely a candidate for the Rocco Lombardi How Are You Still Playing College Football Player of the Year.
Yeah. TCU Arizona State on Friday night. I mean, what the hell? I just don't understand, honestly. TCU. I think, Burns, as I was watching the game live, I just thought to myself, this team reminds me of a young Aaron Rodgers Packer-led team when Mike McCarthy gets too obsessed with throwing the ball out of empty in the shotgun every time with Rodgers because he feels like his quarterback is so good that that's what they should do every single play instead of adding some balance. That's honestly what I was thinking watching the game.
Okay. Very specific thought.
I know. And sure enough, they lose the game. Because as I'm watching Hoover, especially in the first half, I'm honestly going on Google and typing in NFL mock drafts and wondering if this guy is projected to go 1 overall with how good he looks to me. He's not. He's projected to go late first, for the record. But LSU Ole Miss, dude, is our LSU bet officially dead?
It's way dead.
Yeah.
Depending on how Vanderbilt plays this week, Vanderbilt could be favored against LSU when they come here in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's that team. It's like they went out and got a bunch of wide receivers in the portal, and they forgot there's 11 men on the field, and 5 of them have to be your offensive linemen. They just completely forgot to bolster an offensive line
around a quarterback who can't move.
Yeah. We're in trouble there. I don't care they can't run the ball, but if they can't protect the quarterback, now we're seeping into both issues with passing and running.
Exactly. That's all you got on offense.
Defense still look good.
Defense is not the problem with that team, for sure. I thought Ole Miss's quarterback, Chambliss, played very well. I mean, yes, he wasn't perfect, but that guy has something to him, in my opinion. Like, really, really, really talented player.
The it factor?
A little bit. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Well, he's 6th in the Heisman. I mean, he wasn't even on the board. A D2 transfer from Ferris State.
Crazy.
6th in the Heisman. And adios, Simmons. Austin Simmons. No chance you're playing again, buddy.
100%. A&M over Auburn. I mean, that just kind of seemed like a
snooze.
Exactly. Snooze is a great word. But A&M.
Elko pulled the Brian Kelly. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw he said something about Brian. Yeah, something.
He just said not to steal another person's press conference. But why aren't you guys asking me about the good things we did here? Oh my God, these guys are
so fucking level. Sensitive.
They are sensitive, dude. It's WWE filtering into college football.
Man.
And how could we not talk about your home state, dude? Illinois getting off the mat against USC, and they probably should have beat them even worse. A couple red zone turnovers.
Yeah, big time bounce back spot. I think it showed a lot about their character as a team. They might not be the national champions this year, but they're not a bad team, and they proved that on Saturday by beating USC.
Yeah. USC,
And
you just can't whine in public. Talk about reverse bulletin board material.
I mean, it's the same thing every year with them, and I'm just gotten to the point now where it's not going to change with Lincoln Riley as the head coach. They are a good team, they're a talented team, but sometimes, Burns, you just need to find a way to win a fucking football game, no matter what it takes, and that just comes down to like in-game decision making and coaching and play calling. And USC, more often than not, messes it up. In my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see the week before him going out there and being like, "Oh, well, it's tough for Michigan State. They're kicking off at 11:15 p.m. their time. We're not getting out of halftime until around 12:30 p.m. their time." I didn't see that. Come back and be like, "Oh, we're kicking off at 9 a.m. our time," like right after
Right.
having a late game. Dude, shut up.
Exactly. Shut up.
It's
Shut up.
football, not
It's
figure
football.
skating.
I know. And they had like 6 days in between the games. Ugh, I just don't get it. It's not like you had to wake up the next day and play. Indiana over Iowa, like you mentioned, in a very ugly game. But Iowa, they had a chance to go up with that field goal. Stevens missed the kick after making a really long one earlier. So he kind of knew that they were doomed once he missed that kick. And
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of all of a sudden once Surratt broke free and scored the TD, I was like, and then I realized who they were trotting out. I didn't know if they had the Mike Secret sauce in a water bottle for Gronowski, but once that, what is it, Drew Lane or something, he was not leading them down the field.
no. Um, last
Did you?
last one I want to mention. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, did you see the Wake Forest abomination?
That was the last one I was gonna mention.
Oh my God!
So what
I mean,
happened? Was someone was offsides and it wasn't called, or what happened?
correct. Yes, he was offsides. I mean, even he pulled up like it was a free play and then went back, and they just treated it like a free play and uh, was not complete. And uh, yeah, ACC came out afterwards. It's like, yeah, hand up, we messed up.
Was that on the 2-point conversion?
Uh, yes,
Is that what you're referring to?
yeah,
When Wake went for 2 for the win.
yeah. I wish we had the. I wish I had the video of it.
Man, I mean, I was watching the game again, like just loosely. I was at my in-laws, and it's hard to keep track, and the dog gets in the way of the TV sometimes. But yeah, I just saw Georgia Tech stopped him. I did not realize that there was an egregious offsides call there.
Oh no, it wasn't the 2-point conversion. It would have given them a first down to kneel it out, so it would have been the game. This was pre-overtime.
Okay.
3rd and 5, and then they
Oh,
just sail it, and so they have to get rid of it.
that's such bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, especially when it's like we fucked up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, we get to go play it again, right?
Nope. 4th down.
No, sorry, dude. Yeah, so that's ass, and that's the second week in a row. Something like that obviously would not have resulted in knees last week, but that Auburn, Oklahoma, with the sprint out, like unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that wasn't called, that USC put up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a hell of a week 5. But let's turn the page and let's go on.
Yep, we do have to say our thoughts. Don't say thoughts and prayers. He didn't die, but our thoughts and wishes are with Sam Pittman. I will say he's the first one on the list of the preseason hot seat to be canned. And I will say, if Wisconsin pulls an upset this week after what Biff Poggi just did in the 2 weeks off Sharon Moore, that seat is going to be very hot. Very hot. And then Mike Loxley. Congrats, bud. Maryland looks good. That big game this week.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Malik Washington, their quarterback. If you're listening to this and you have no idea about Malik Washington at Maryland, maybe tune in and check him out. He's pretty dynamic.
yeah, you're going to find out this week. He looks really good. Uh, Sam Pittman, what could have been? You beat Memphis. You have a huge game coming into Notre Dame. All of a sudden, you drop both back to back, and Notre Dame was a steamroll. And yeah, so I think it's the best job available right now by far over Virginia Tech, UCLA. What do you think? Is Arkansas still an ideal spot to give it a shot? I think any SEC job is.
Yeah, I have no qualms about that. I have heard from some of the people that cover the sport that Arkansas isn't all that serious about competing in the SEC relative to other schools in the conference. So if there's truth to that, that's concerning if you're taking that job. But if your goal is to, get paid as much as possible, I'm sure Arkansas can make that happen.
Exactly. They will. I mean, Jerry Jones there. He's got to. If Cowboys can't do anything, he's got to get the Hogs back.
I heard that they just didn't take the transfer portal seriously at all. And coming into the season, even the coaches internally knew that their defense was essentially screwed because they had no players.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it's looked. Arkansas overs have just been flying off the shelves.
Yep.
We've got one note. This is something that I think you should tail. I've got an ad to the card. It's I don't know if you saw the news recently. There's a lot of coach speak in Norman. Have you seen this?
No.
Well, our boy is down to 30-1. Last week when we spoke, 7 days ago, he was 60-1? Ben Arbuckle, who came with him from Washington State, said some very interesting coach speak that said John's a competitor. When it comes to rehabbing his injury, I think there's a lot of gray area with him. And I think if you would ask him, he'd probably lean way darker gray. And he's a professional and he wants to do what's best for his team and his teammates above all else. I think he's playing in the Red River rivalry next week.
Yeah, fire me up.
And this Kent State game, he could have skipped anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm rebetting him in the Heisman. I mean, there's no clear Heisman front runner. Dante Moore is the leader, and he's at plus 750. So I'm rebetting Mateer. I think he's coming back. I think Texas, they can have a run heavy. I think Oklahoma can have a run heavy offense next week. So I think you should back John Mateer on that Heisman ticket. These are ridiculous odds for the favorite just 2 weeks ago.
All right. Let's go. I hope he's back.
All right. Let's get into it. We're going to go with the Mac Messiah first, since we've got a full slate of Mac games, and we're going to get it out of the way. It's the Mac Messiah minute. So I'm gonna cruise through these games. We've got Toledo and Bowling Green on a bye, and we've got Kent State out of conference. But everyone else is playing in conference games, and we have some ugly boys. Ugly boys. But that's why we love the MAC. A lot of home dogs this week. Will the dogs be barking? And a lot of homecoming dogs. A lot of homecoming dogs, Mayor. Western Michigan, UMass. Yuck. Yuck. UMass homecoming. UMass is so bad. They are one of the worst teams in the country. That under should cash easily here in the next coming weeks. Speaking of unders, I like under in the game, 47.5, or under team total, UMass. This week, Western Michigan, pretty below average to one of the worst passing offenses in the country. Although UMass sports one of the worst defenses in the country, Still think Western Michigan sticks to the run, and this is a clock-moving type game, but UMass cannot move the ball on offense. They're top. I don't think they have a passing touchdown yet this year. I mean, insane. Ohio Ball State. This is a weird game. Let me tell you something. I got a bone to pick with Ohio. Ohio Bowling Green last week. So I was 1-2 last week in the Mac Messiah, and that game had 7 turnovers, and it still went over in the last 4 minutes of the game. It was an absolutely bananas game. Had no business sticking under, but had no business having that many turnovers. Anyway, Ball State. This is the team right after the academies that has the fewest pass attempts per game. They're literally 5th to last. So I count Rice as the academy team now since they run the triple option. 5th to last. And then 2 run first ball clubs. Again, I think the clock is moving a lot in this game. Under 51.5, 7-2-1 in the last 10 is to the under when the road team is favored in this matchup. So Ohio is the road team; they're favored. That's also deemed well. Central Michigan at Akron. This is we'll see in the graphic because Ben Finley didn't play against Toledo. If they don't have him, Akron might not be able to move the ball on Bishop Sycamore, who's the fake AAU team that HBO has a documentary on. They are bad, very, very bad. And Central Michigan, though, also very bad on offense, but a pretty stout defense. Like that defense. So if Ben Finley plays, I like Akron plus 8.5. I'm going to say that. And then if not, this is the 3rd straight under. We're going unders. Or I might take Central. That's all dependent on Ben Finley. Emu, Buffalo. All right, we're on the over. Over 54.5 again. Same number as last week. Eastern Michigan, ass. But I think Buffalo's defense is a little more ass than Central's. I think Eastern can put up a few scores. Buffalo should be able to do whatever they want. The last 7 matchups of Eastern Michigan Buffalo average 59 points per game. And the over is 6-1. Miami and NIU, another homecoming game. Homecoming for Buffalo as well. Shout out. The favorite is 2-8 against the spread in the last 10, and the Huskies are 1-9 against the spread in the last 10 in this matchup. Waiting to bet this. If DeQuan Finn plays, I will be betting Miami minus 4.5. If he doesn't, Mayor, do you want to take a guess of what this over-under is?
Let's go 34.5.
Oh, damn. A little more pessimistic. It's 38.5.
Okay.
We're just going to stick to a side on that one. So it's really dependent on what the quarterback play will look like. Did you see Northern Illinois' final score last week?
6-3.
Yes.
6-3 loss at home to San Diego State.
San Diego State covers minus 1.5. Scoring 6.
Nuts.
Oh, buddy. Absolutely insane. All right. So that's your MAC minute. UMass, WMU under 47.5. Ohio Ball State under. Central Michigan, Akron. Zips plus 8.5 if Finley can go. Eastern Michigan, Buffalo over. And then Miami minus 4.5 if DeQuan Finn can go. Have that final card on Friday.
Love it.
Yep. So let's get into the week 6 slate, huh?
Oh, let's do it. We have a special guest today too.
Hey, we need a lot of winnies. All right, we need some winnies on the board.
Hey. All right. So let's get into it. Week 6, big games. We're going to start with a really intriguing game. We have Iowa State coming off a resounding 25-point victory against Arizona, going on the road to take on Cincinnati, who just beat Kansas in a really thrilling game, 37-34 last week. Currently, Cincinnati is a home favorite of 1.5, and the over-under is 52.5, 11 a.m. Central. This is a really interesting game, Burns. I mean, do you think Do you think Matt Campbell, one of your favorite coaches, is able to rally his guys on the road and get a win against a pretty frisky Cincy team?
Yeah. Were you surprised at all by this line?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, that's fair. We were very positive on Cincy, and neither of us had the balls to take anything in their preseason. And Sorsby, who we're both very high on, looks very good. It was an impressive win against Kansas. Under Campbell, 11-6-1 against the spread as a conference road dog. And then Cincinnati, 11-5-2 to the under versus conference ranked opponents in the Big 12. So, should be a tight game, in my opinion. I think this is by far the best pass defense Cincinnati's seen. So, while we've been pretty impressed with Sorsby, I think it's a tighter game. I think you can go whatever side you like. Obviously, lay the 1.5, but I would lean towards the under here. A week of unders for me.
Yeah, sure. Can we just point out, just for a quick second, how big of a game this is for both of
Yeah,
these teams?
man. Cincinnati with a 3-point loss to Nebraska, or they'd be right there, and this would be a ranked matchup.
100%. 100%. I mean, at this point, especially for Iowa State, but even for Cincinnati, if they pull out the win, they're thinking college football playoff. And why not? I mean, it's early in the season. I understand that, but this is a really big game with some big implications.
For sure. And this should be a game to look at for any outsiders questioning the Big 12, because this is two of your top quarterbacks in the entire Big 12 going head to head. So it'll be good to see a duel like that. Just last week kind of scares me. I was a little higher on Kansas's defense. I didn't think they'd get kind of picked apart like that. So I'm wondering if I'm seeing fool's gold with who Iowa State's played so far. And maybe this will be a back and forth game getting over that 52.
Yeah. I was really impressed with Cincinnati's offense last week against Kansas. And obviously, Kansas has a pretty good offense themselves, so they were able to score some points against Cincy. But I watched that game pretty closely, and I got to say, I really felt like the refs were favoring Kansas in that game. So for Cincy to come out of there with a win, all the more impressive. We'll see. We'll see how they get up in this big home spot in front of their home crowd in a massive early game in the Big 12.
Do you have a lean? Is what I'm hearing, or
Cincy.
no? You like Cincy?
That would be my lean.
Ooh.
But I, I feel like I'm being a little too disrespectful against Iowa State this year, especially after last week when myself and the Sharps all liked Arizona plus 6.5, plus 6, plus 5.5. I think at game's close it was 3.5, I believe. And Iowa
It
State
was.
gave us all the middle finger and said, "Take your sharp money and whatever."
Well, someone was on that. I think we should have been more critical of Arizona only having one passing touchdown. That was not called out enough we talked about that game very shortly, and that's why I liked Iowa State. And I felt like that's like one of those games where you're on a side cautiously. You're not trusting your gut, but you still bet it because you like it enough. And then once it plays out one quarter in, you're like, fuck, dude, I knew I was fucking right about this.
Right.
Same thing with Kansas State. Added that to the card late, and
Yes.
yeah,
100%. Dude, this Iowa State team to me feels like a Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh Steelers team where they're winning every week and you're looking at the team and you're like, well, they're okay, but like how are they 11-5? Like that's how this Iowa State team feels to me.
Yeah. I will say only one thing about the line. You have to expect Joe Money to be coming in, seeing a 14 next to the name, next to an unranked, and then an unranked team, and they're plus money. That's what kind of also take anything out of the game. That's what also makes me lean Cincinnati in this game.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, we'll move on to an SEC clash. We have Vanderbilt taking on Alabama. The spread is 10.5. Alabama is favorited. The over-under is 57.5. 2:30 p.m. Central, ABC. Xander has boots on the ground in Nashville, Tennessee. And this has to be the lowest spread between Vanderbilt and Alabama in our entire lives. Maybe not, but a long, long time.
Probably. Yeah. And talk about missing a game of the year type line. This game in the summer was 22.5. That line is obviously long gone. But even, I think you could have got it Sunday night. Some places 13.5. I already tweeted out I'm on this 10.5. I do not want to get that. That 10.5 means a lot to me. Do not want to see this get to 9.5. Vanderbilt is no fluke at all. Even though you can think whatever you want, I mean, good to see Virginia Tech finally show some life and make that win a little more. Same thing with South Carolina against Missouri. So, just their offense, top 5 in every single advanced analytics stat. Their offense runs, like I was saying earlier, a bit of a squirrely type. They'll do a pistol triple option. Like they will throw everything in the kitchen sink at you, and then Pavia will just also scamper for 25 yards out of nowhere. He continues to impress incredibly. And then Bama, they're still, in my opinion, finding their own. That's a big road win at Georgia. But I think a team like Vanderbilt can control Alabama's front 7 and keep it close. I'm not saying this is a guaranteed win, but I like that double-digit number for Vandy when their defense has also kind of shown a little bit of weakness in the pass, which if you like Ty Simpson, like my colleague here and close friend Alex Mayer does, you might like the over in this game.
Which I do. That's the way I would play this game. I would play the over because Vanderbilt's offense has been incredibly impressive, and Alabama's offense has been picking up some steam. And you probably watched the Vanderbilt game last week against Utah State, if I had to guess. And
sure did.
Looks like Utah State was able to put up some points against him, even if some of it was in garbage time. It looks like they were able to score some points.
They put up points against Texas A&M as well. So, Utah State and Bronco Mendenhall is a bit of a feisty team. But yeah, it seemed like just a very sluggish start at home. I think they were in a look-ahead spot. That was the call look-ahead spot, but they did pull away and cover. So they just started very sluggishly. I'm glad it didn't play out to be very stressful, but I could see this team also getting to the over. 57.5 is a lot, but what do you think the final is? 42-35? 42-38?
I would say right now 38-28 Bama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it doing the math real quick if that got over? It did. Just making sure. It's laying out an exact score under.
Super.
Hold on. I got my stat here. It's the important one. We've talked about it all every year that we've covered Pavia. We've ridden with him. 16-4 against the spread as an underdog. 16-4 against the spread as an underdog with 12 straight up wins. 12.
Doesn't get much better than that.
60% of the time he's cashing plus money line tickets for you.
Are you sprinkling?
Yes, absolutely.
What can you get? Like plus 350?
Plus 330.
Nice.
$1,000 pays $3,300.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. I'm cheering for Vanderbilt. Would be absolute chaos to see Vanderbilt undefeated going against LSU in their next game.
Yeah, that's right. They would go on into a bye and then LSU.
Wow. Okay, we'll keep it rolling. Another 2:30 p.m. Central game. We have newly ranked Virginia on the road taking on unranked Louisville, yet the home team, who's unranked, is a 7-point favorite. Over under 62.5. What do you think of this one?
Not surprised this wasn't a ranked matchup. Just once again, disrespect for the ACC. Feels like, again, two teams kind of trending. I'm not going to say completely different directions. Just the two biggest games Louisville's had so far, they've been very tight against James Madison and Pitt. And, some would say lucky to win both of those games. That James Madison game was 14-14 in the fourth quarter, right? Like, that was a very tight game the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
So this UVA, my only concern is defense. And, like, it's usually what bites teams in the ass that are very up-tempo, high pace, electric offenses is that those aren't clicking for 3 or 4 drives. This is a 3-score game. So that's my only concern. I'd like to see the defense make a couple stops. Obviously good enough quarterback at Miller Moss. But UVA, Chandler Morris, I'm worried about a letdown spot. How about you? Having to go on the road after such a huge field storming win. What an incredibly well managed field storm as well. How great was that?
I don't like field storms, Burns.
Wow. We found him, folks. We found the guy that's calling in fines. Wow. Loser.
I do think it's a letdown spot for Virginia. Now, if they show up, I'll put my hand up. But I think with Louisville, something that I always find to be dangerous with the team is a team that isn't playing their best ball, yet still finding ways to win. And let's not pretend like Louisville has played world beaters. They beat James Madison and they beat Pitt. And they, like you said, they got fortunate to win both. But they did. And they're undefeated. And hopefully they can learn from their mistakes. And now they're back in front of their home crowd. I would lean Louisville and lay in the points here. I don't want to buy into Virginia quite yet just because they won a big game at home on a Friday night against Florida State, who, yes, has had a great start to the year, but we shall see how good they really are when the season is all said and done. I will say that big-ass receiver that they have, that dude can play on Florida State. What a big boy.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Pitt was able to get almost 8 yards of pass, 8 yards of completion. First true quarterback, in my opinion, of the 4. So I think Virginia will be able to keep up. 62.5, big number. I'd almost want to be contrarian here and go the under in a closer game. But I mainly like Virginia. I'm not scared of the letdown spot. Have a good enough offense to keep it a 1-score game.
Okay. Keeping it in the 2:30 slate, we have Boise State taking on Notre Dame. Notre Dame is at home. And, prior to the year, some people looked at this game and said, well, that'll be a test for Notre Dame. Well, the spread's 20.5. Notre Dame is favored by almost 3 touchdowns. Total 65.5. Do you have thoughts on Boise versus Notre Dame?
Yeah. Impressed with Boise last week. Got us to the over almost by themselves against App State. And they defense finally kind of showed up a little bit. We're talking about an App State team that's trying to find an identity in their own. So that's still jury's still out on that one. But thought it was a great warm up for Notre Dame. But Notre Dame did the same exact thing to Arkansas. So they seem to find their groove. Jeremiah Love all of a sudden is just like a CJ2K, just catching balls out of the backfield. David Johnson barely running the ball. He did just receiving every other play, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But it seems like Notre Dame figured out, let's just keep feeding our beast. find him ways to get him the ball. And they looked very good in their defense. Yeah, we'll see. Maddox Madsen, Chris Matthews have shown some upside this season, but they have not been able to really get a true run game going. Obviously, you're going to be losing some of those run statistics we talked about a lot from last year with Ashton Genty.
Yeah, for sure. I think I would go under. It's a big total.
65.5.
It's a big total. I think Notre Dame's defense starting to figure it out a little bit. I mean, obviously it's only one game, but last week was a good sign against an Arkansas team that's really been scoring the ball a lot. That's a really, really big total for a team that I think is improving on defense, and to ask Boise to go into that environment and put up a decent amount of points themselves to get you over, most likely. Yeah, I think I'd go under. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. You have to think of the travel as well. And but I just can't get that Purdue game out of my head. Like Purdue getting into the 30s versus Notre Dame, and you want to tell me you've got a defense that's improving and not a Arkansas team that maybe just kind of quit.
Right.
I don't know. That's the line we're going to toe. Do you even touch that spread 20.5? Like, this is still a lot of players from that playoff team 1 year ago, and they would not have been 20.5. Obviously, Ashton Genty, I get it. Maybe he's 7 points worth of spread. Maybe it would have been a 2-score spread, but do you want to lay 20 with this Notre Dame team against another decent football team?
I mean, when you put it like that, not particularly. It's hard to judge Notre Dame because they played Purdue, and then they played an Arkansas team, as you mentioned, who came off 2 very gut-wrenching losses and maybe had a little quit in them, maybe. So it's just hard to judge them.
And how about this? Freeman's 3-6 against the spread against G5 teams.
Yeah, that doesn't include Northern Illinois.
Yes, it does. G5.
Yeah, I knew that. Thank you.
And fun fact, Boise State's first game ever in the state of Indiana. Has nothing to do with betting, but just a fun fact.
Notre Dame team total is 41.5. Would you go over or would you go under?
Oh, man. Man, I'd probably go under.
It's a big number.
Yeah.
You're telling me they can score 41 and I'm a loser? Just saying.
Well, they could score 6 and I'd still be a loser. So it doesn't matter what they're putting up. Just a dig at myself. Loser.
Yeah, that one went right over my head. All right. Final big game, although there is one big omission, you could argue, is 6:30 p.m. Central, ABC. We have the Miami Hurricanes taking on Florida State. Miami, 4.5-point road favorite, over under 54.5. This is always, this is a rivalry game, and this year in particular, both teams appear to be pretty damn good, especially Miami, who's still undefeated. Florida State coming off that loss against Virginia last week, looking to bounce back at home. You got to imagine that the environment is going to be crazy. A lot of stakes in this game for college football playoff, winner of the ACC potentially. Yeah, it's a big game. In Tallahassee, do you have a play?
Right now, I'm leaning the bounce back. I like the Seminoles. Last 18 times FSU was a dog in this rivalry. The under was 14-4, so maybe another under. This could be just a copy paste of that Miami-Florida game. Florida-Miami game, however you want to say it.
Yep.
And also, the dog in this series, the last 20 years, 14-6 against the spread with 9 straight up wins. Underdog in this series. So
wow.
I like a home road dog. I like a home dog Here, I am a little concerned about the bye week. Also, Miami hasn't had to leave the state of Florida. Both teams uh, top 10 in offensive success when we look at the advanced metrics. Uh, Florida State top 4 in rushing and Miami top 4 in passing. And then each defense is in the green for me when it comes, obviously Bain at Miami. Is that a good impression there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bain at Miami, and then just a solid Norvell defense finally after all these years.
Well, I mean, I see it the same way you do. I think I would have to lean Florida State plus the points, being at home, bounce back spot off a loss in conference against a Miami team who I just don't love Cristobal's in-game management in some of these games, especially if the game is tight. I don't trust him to do the right thing. More often than not, I think he'll make a mistake and put his team in a tough spot. I think in this game, Burns, this is all about, are we actually buying into Florida State? I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. I mean, I certainly think Castellanos will be able to avoid some of the pass rush, and he'll be able to make some plays with his legs and extend some plays and make some things happen. But I think I'm more so looking at this game from a Miami offense versus a Florida State defensive perspective. Is this going to be the type of game where Miami is having success on the ground, being able to get whatever they want, run the ball down Florida State's throat? Will Carson Beck have open receivers all over the field? Or is Florida State's defense going to give Miami fits and really show up on their home field and make life easier on their offense? That's my biggest question. And I'm just curious if you have any insights into that.
I do have a concern from a betting angle here. Looks like it's the third most bet game according to Action Network so far. We're on Wednesday. These numbers will obviously change. 57% of the tickets, 97% of the money on Florida State plus 4.5. This line has barely budged, if at all. So that does concern me that sharp money is holding that that Hurricanes line where it's at. There is the sharp indicator on 4.5. So a little concern there because this offense has flexed its muscles and shown, very little stress so far. And you're right. I mean, Cristobal is going to be the X factor because the only reason they didn't completely trounce Florida is they were kind of like playing with their food, just like not pulling away when they, Florida's got a great defense, but Miami could have had whatever they wanted, just kind of sticking to the game plan they had in the first few possessions there. So it's always tough when the coach is the biggest X factor, right? Because man,
Yep,
can they fuck it up?
they sure can. And I think it's fair to ask yourself the question and just acknowledge that it is still very early on in this season. And although Miami has been impressive, our data points is a week 1 3-point victory against Notre Dame that came down to the wire, and a win over a Florida team who is absolutely at their lowest point offensively, and probably will be at their lowest point offensively throughout the year. So I'm not knocking Miami. All you can do is beat and play who's on your schedule, but we still don't know a lot. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I think the other thing too is when you kind of zoom out. Yeah, if you ask yourself, do I see Miami being a first round bye and a top 4 team in the country in this college football playoff? And if the answer is yes, they're going to win on the road at Florida State because the rest of their schedule is very, very soft. And this would be the game that gets them to that position. If you think that's where they end up at the end of the season.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep this thing moving.
Yep, gone.
And get into the games of note. And we will start with an 11 a.m. game, Central, ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus, man, I would have watched this game. Kansas State taking on Baylor. Baylor at home is a 6.5-point favorite. Total's at 61.5. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw this line come out, my first thought was, I'm surprised that the spread is this large. I thought it was going to be more along the lines of like 4, not 6.5, personally. So I lean Kansas State plus the points. I think they got some confidence with a win last week, and Baylor has been too inconsistent for my taste to trust them to lay that many points in this game.
Man, I kind of think the opposite. I think it was a fool's gold game. Happy to get Kansas State -5, but I just think UCF is just not a complete football team. And Kansas State still really didn't look like that good on offense, that is, like when it comes to fluidity. But then again, Baylor, how can I fucking trust Baylor ever? I mean, this team are the kings of going down 14 and just playing from behind. So it's just, as of now, a stay away game from me. I want to bet the over because of Baylor, and maybe Kansas State did find something. They're going to keep improving every week. Mind you, Arizona loss was not a conference loss. That Big 12 championship ticket is still alive, baby.
Huh.
So, yeah, I'll be watching this game right now. I do not have a play on it.
Yep. 2:30 p.m. Central Time. We got the Texas Longhorns traveling to Gainesville to take on the Gators. Texas -6.5, -7 on the road. Over under 43.5. The public is on Texas, Burns. Sharp money's on Florida. You think Florida hangs in this game and possibly sneaks out with a win, or do you think Texas comes in and makes a statement?
I mean, anything can happen the way we've seen this Texas offense play this season. This starts the journey of completely away from Austin for the entire month of October. On the road in Gainesville, neutral site for the Red River rivalry, and then back-to-back away games after that. So in for a grueling 4-game stretch here. Since 2015, 10 years, Gators are 6-1 against the spread versus top 10 opponents. So I'll take those stats with what you will.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely different teams, but yeah, I mean, the way that Texas offense was playing against UTEP, against, it's take it for what it is versus Ohio State. Maybe Ohio State broke this team. Is that fair to say? Maybe LSU broke Clemson. Maybe that week 1 was just a breaking week for programs because the way everything's shaken out. I know, Texas still 3-1. They by broken just mean they look bad. But San Jose State, they didn't look good either. But Florida cannot score. So although their defense is a top 20 defense, this line is so confusing. Texas off a bye, you have to expect them to come out with their best. Talk to me, give me a bet on this game, Alex, because I'm just so confused when I see this. All these lines don't make sense to me. Texas should be a 2-score favorite with what we've seen on the field from Florida.
Yeah. Part of me likes the over in this game. I think the first thought would be under, but stay with me here.
I'm staying.
Texas improved after Arch Manning's horrific game against whoever that was against. I forget who it was against. Texas, El Paso, or somebody like that.
UTEP, yes, UTEP.
Yeah. He played better. Both teams are off a bye. I think the focus for both teams in terms of what do we need to improve is our offensive efficiency. And I just got to say it. Are you telling me Florida, after the South Florida game, after the LSU game, after the Miami game, going through all that shit and then having a bye, that they are going to come out on Saturday and score like 7 points?
Yes. This is LSU territory. At some point, you just are what you are. Like, you can only improve on your imperfections. You can't just create magic out of thin air. Like, if you just don't have the roster there, I don't know what to tell you. They don't have a running game. Their offensive line has questions. Their defense is going to be the only thing that, 43 is a low total, so it's not like you're speaking a different language here. But if
Well,
you're asking me if I could see Florida score 7, absolutely.
it could happen, right? It could. But I think on the flip side, Texas has potential to score in the 30s in this game. I think that is definitely possible if their offense wakes up.
The only gut reaction I've had without diving the deepest into this game, just because I don't know, I'm not interested in wagering on a game I have really no feel for, but was Texas minus 6.5, minus 7 was my play of the 4 of the either side spread or the over under.
Mm-hmm. I'm also thinking for my over lean. I mean, Lagway, we know he can throw picks, and so can Arch Manning. So, like, we could have turnovers, short fields. I think for such a low total, there is motivation on offense for both squads and potential turnovers in this game. So
this would be a great candidate for a minus 6, 2 legs, same game parlay, minus 110. Texas minus a half point, over 37.5.
Ooh, okay.
Now I'm talking your language?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, now I'm talking my language.
All right, we will move on to Michigan State taking on Nebraska. Nebraska at home, laying 11.5 points. Over under is 52.5. My gut reaction to seeing this line was that line's too high. I can't believe Nebraska is laying 11.5 points against Michigan State. Nebraska certainly hasn't warranted that type of respect. That was my gut reaction. And then when I thought about it for a quick second, I said, well, maybe the Michigan State defense is just that decimated and that bad, where they just think Nebraska will be able to do whatever they want against the Spartans. But you know what? I've seen enough Nebraska on offense to know that I cannot trust them. And they just are who they are, I think, although I guess their receivers are pretty damn good. But yeah, my lean was Michigan State plus the 11.5. That was my gut reaction.
Yeah, for sure. Just reading this week, crazy to think Wayne Matthews could play in this game. Stretchered off the field at USC their last time out, and they're off a bye week. Him, Nakai Martinez, and Quindarius Dunnigan, 3 key starters, could be playing this week. So definitely monitoring this game. I would bet the Spartans with them. Without them, dude, I don't know. You're right. They have the offense to keep up for sure. With Nick Marsh, and oh my God, why is his name slipping my brain?
Aiden Giles.
Aiden Childs, thank you. Yeah, I mean they can put up points, so nothing to say here. I thought Nebraska's defense was a little, minus the 3 explosive plays they allowed to Michigan. I thought they were pretty stout. I was pretty impressed, minus those 3 plays that really tilted the game in Michigan's favor.
Yeah.
So maybe an underplay here. But yeah, I think you're overall right. I think that's too many points if Michigan State's defense is, you're telling me they'll be healthy.
Sure. Pivoting to a really interesting 6 p.m. game, we have Texas Tech staying in the state of Texas, but going on the road to take on Houston. Texas Tech laying 11.5 points on the road. The over-under is 50.5. Are both of these teams undefeated? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And Connor Wegman, he's playing in this game?
Yeah, yep.
I mean, them playing a close game against Oregon State is about the least surprising thing in college football, up there with San Diego State beating Cal. Like, those results were not surprising. When you take a young average team and you put them in an unfamiliar road environment, we see those results happen all the time, left and right. My first reaction to this, seeing this line, was, holy smokes, that is a lot of points that they are giving respect to Texas Tech after one win against Utah on the road, and albeit an impressive one. My lean was Houston plus the points when I first saw the line.
Yeah. Do we have a idea of if Morton is good to go?
I don't know if Baron Morton is playing.
Yeah, because obviously, that's a pretty big injury if he's not. They get a bye week. Let's see here. Why don't you tell us a little bit more while I figure that out?
Well, when you look at Texas Tech, they spent a ton of money in the transfer portal and they got some dogs on their team. And if you're a Texas Tech fan, the season outside of the quarterback injury, but I will say their backup quarterback looked pretty damn impressive. The season has gone off to a very good start. And then, of course, they lost their running back, whose name is slipping my mind, but they lost their star running back before the year as well. Joyner, maybe?
Yeah, Quentin Joyner.
Yeah.
Baron Morton is good to go. He'll be playing.
Okay.
And that being said, Houston's 11-4 to the under in their last two seasons at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see this total getting under. Dude, I want to remind people again, this Houston team, same with Mississippi State, good stories. Their win totals were 4.5. Like at some point, Vegas isn't just putting these numbers out just based on past results. It's based on also the players there that are available. And when you stack these rosters up against each other, Texas Tech is just far and away the better team. Although Houston has a Willie Fritz led defense that is a mean son bitch defense. So I could see Texas Tech winning this game, 28-10, and the under hits pretty comfortably, and I wouldn't mind laying Texas Tech minus 11.
Sure. Hey, where's game day this week?
They are in Alabama.
Oh, Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, a little disappointing because obviously once Vandy wins and Missouri keeps winning, they better be here in Nashville in 4 weeks.
I think they will if that ends up happening. We got a long way to go, but if it happens, I think they will be in Nashville. 6:30 p.m. Mississippi State taking on Texas A&M. A&M is laying 14.5 at home. Over-under's 57.5. Mississippi State, I got to say, they impressed me against Tennessee. I didn't think that they were going to hang in the fashion that they did, but they fought, they played hard, they executed certainly plenty, and it came down to the absolute wire, overtime, and really, really entertaining ball game. I thought Mississippi State really played well, and now they go play Texas A&M, who is taking care of business. They beat Notre Dame, of course, on the road, and then come home and they beat Auburn last week. So, yeah, 14.5 is a lot of points for a Mississippi State team that I thought looked pretty decent. But then you have to ask yourself the question, can they do it on the road at night? And I'm not so sure.
I'm sure. Jeff Letty is our man of the people. In his short tenure here at Mississippi State, what is that, about 17 games? He is 5-0 against the spread as a double-digit dog. This man covers in big dog situations. He is the big dog. And Mississippi State quietly having one of the better running attacks in the entire country with Fluff Bothwell. So they're controlling the clock. Texas A&M, 110th in the country in third down success. So if they're not able, shit. I mean, they just put up 16 and won a game. So it's not like don't let that mirage of 41 at Notre Dame. Let's bring it back into the SEC here. I really like Mississippi State over that 2 touchdown number. I'm a believer in this team. I like Blake Chapin. They stay healthy. I think they're a competitor. Not like they're a competitor to win the SEC, but they're going to give you a tough out every single week.
Yeah. I think if you like State to stay within the number, I think that correlates with the over. I think the opposite would correlate with the under.
Interesting.
I just have concerns about Mississippi State's offense being able to have success against this A&M defense. A lot because A&M is at home again, and they're coming off a performance where they got their confidence back on defense, even if Auburn stinks. That's this is a big test for Mississippi State. Road game. Have they played a road game to this magnitude yet this year?
No, not at all. They went to Southern Miss.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So it's a big spread. Interesting game. And then we have your Buckeyes hosting Minnesota, 6:30 p.m. NBC. Ohio State laying 23.5 at home. Over under 44.5. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, what a weird total, right? For such a big spread and a Big Ten game, and Ohio State's on the card. No weather involved. 44.5. I think that speaks to the stat that I brought up earlier about Ohio State being the second slowest team in the country and only getting 6 possessions last time around at Washington. I mean, crazily enough, I'd be on the under here too. I don't think Minnesota scores, is why I'd be on the under. His team is someone you usually think of a running team. Advanced analytics show us 117th in the country in effective rushing, and 96th in the country in offensive success with the run. Not good when you have a unproven quarterback facing this Ohio State secondary. And if Ohio State's able to just pin their ears back and start rushing the quarterback, this could be lopsided pretty quickly. I'd probably, just out of sake, that Ohio State could easily score 42 here, and maybe Minnesota gets in with a touchdown. I would lean more Ohio State minus 23 here. No look-ahead spot to Illinois. No,
I don't think so. I think this team has the maturity to stay locked in. I'm kind of thinking Ohio State team total over 34.5. I mean, Ohio State's defense is so dominant, they might get a defensive score or two on their own, based on what they can do defensively. And I watched quite a bit of that Rutgers versus Minnesota game last week, and Rutgers did a lot of good things offensively. So if Rutgers can do it, how do you think Ohio State's going to fare?
Yeah, like I said, they're just kind of, we'll see what offense comes out. If they want to come out with half the playbook, then it's going to be a slow game. But I would lean towards, I don't mind. I got bit in the ass last week. I was on Ohio State over team total. And it seems silly losing a bet when that team covers the spread so easily. So I don't know if I want to get bit in the ass again with that same logic, when this could easily just be a 28-0 or 31-0 final.
Right. True. Okay.
Nope. SICKO slate. We got a few games here. Wrap up.
Let's go. Okay. SICKO slate. Western Kentucky taking on Delaware. Friday night, 6 p.m. Yeah, you weren't lying. We're going to start real sick. Delaware, home of Joe Flacco, laying 2.5 points. Over under 61.5.
It's a low-key good game if you like Group of 5. Western Kentucky 4-1, Delaware 3-1. Blue Hens have been putting up some points this season, have been really impressing with their first year in the FBS. Unfortunately, with a bullshit rule, they cannot play for their conference title. But this would be a key CUSA matchup if it was. I like the over here, Friday night over. I'm 2-0 the last 2 weeks on Friday. Who is this guy? Starting to heat up on Fridays and then cool immediately down on Saturdays. Maybe that's the trade-off I don't want to make. But
turn the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, Delaware's defense, stinky, cannot get pressure. If McIver has a clean pocket, he'll be able to absolutely dice up this defense. And then as it goes for Western Kentucky, they've shown their incapabilities of getting to the quarterback as well. Just because we're in the 60s, don't be scared. Friday night points over.
All right. Hell yeah. Now we'll move on to Saturday, 11 a.m. CBS Service Academy game. Air Force taking on Navy. Navy is laying 11.5, and the total is a whopping 51.5 points.
Buddy, I know that it was 49.5 2 days ago. So I know that this Air Force defense is so bad, like historically bad. Like they're allowing into the 40s points per game. But you give me a game in the 50s in the service academies, these teams, all they do is practice each other's playbooks. They have 2 lowest pass attempts in the country. You get us into the 50s out of principle. Service Academy unders in the last 20 years have hit 86% of the time, Alex. 86. You'd be wealthy man. You could be a professional bettor only betting 3 games a year. Just putting like 50 grand a year on each game.
Yeah.
You would have a very nice life, a stress-free life, working 3 days a year. We're on the under, just out of principle. On every Service Academy under. Last week, Rice Navy counted that as a Service Academy under. Hit so easily. We're on the under.
All right. Love it. Love it. Maybe I'll hop on that with you. 11 a.m. game. We head over to the Big Ten. We got Luke Fickell's Wisconsin Badgers really, really under a lot of pressure. Coming off a bye, they go to the big house. They take on Michigan. Michigan's laying 17.5 points. Over-under is 43.5.
Man. I mean, what's going on in Wisconsin? Getting just embarrassed by Maryland. Like, what's happening?
Yep.
Like, coming off a bye now. So, we'll see. This could definitely be Fickell's last game for sure. Continue the trend of firings if this goes sideways. I don't think if anyone's right mind, I don't see any numbers besides Wisconsin's defense being good enough and Michigan's offense showing no capability of a consistent pass attack that Wisconsin could keep it in this number. Although I'm seeing some sharp money on the over. So another low total. What do you think about that?
I would expect Wisconsin's offense to do something.
Anything.
Exactly. Kind of similar to how I view Florida, although Florida has to play Texas this week. But similar thought process. Like, it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse, but maybe it can. So, yeah, I would probably lean the over as well.
Okay. Wow. A couple over boys.
Michigan's offense has been improving. Both teams are off a bye. Maybe Wisconsin can score 17.
Whoa.
Yeah. ACC action, Burns. Clemson taking on North Carolina. Clemson on the road, minus 14, over under 46.5. Thoughts?
Dude, this is, and the SICKO slate is usually reserved for truly sick games like a WKU Delaware game. It's like the fact that we've gotten to, with all the preseason hype, that Clemson UNC is a sicko game
Right.
when we come to betting. Oh
Week
man, what a
6.
crazy season it's already been.
Yeah.
And this is why it's sick. I would lean towards laying the points with Clemson. They just stick out in so many categories. Havoc versus how poorly UNC's defense or offense is allowing havoc. Clemson's ability to stop the run versus UNC's just inability to move the ball on offense should create some positive field position for Clemson. Off a bye. Oh, buddy. I don't know if this will actually make the card, but if I'm going to play something, it's going to be Clemson minus 14. Or, I mean, the last 2 times they've been 2+ touchdown favorites. Fucking lost. So might as well just lay UNC money line, right?
Yeah, exactly. What do they call that? Arbitration betting?
Yeah.
Betting?
Except both could lose. Yeah. That would
Right.
not be arbitration betting. Similar, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Lay it with Clemson. North Carolina has shown not a single pulse to possibly trust them against the team with these types of athletes. At this point, I can't even believe I'm saying it, but like Carolina, are they the worst team in the ACC? I don't think that's like far fetched.
Yeah, Wake Forest has shown some life. I thought they would be there, but yeah, I mean they definitely could be. And some dumbass podcast was talking about what is North Carolina 80-1 to go undefeated this year?
Not us.
No, I don't know who the fuck that was, but what dumbasses.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I'd lean Clemson. That might make the card. Keeping it in the ACC, we got Bill O'Brien's Boston College Eagles taking on Pitt. Pitt's laying 6, over under 58.5.
Oh, Alex, I might be betting the Pitt Panthers again.
You're sick.
Oh, spooky season, dude. This is where we resurrect Narduzzi. I mean, Holstein looks fine. I don't understand how they're losing these games. It's just, is it because of me? I lay off them. They're going to win by 30. So maybe I should just vendetta, take Pitt out with me. Now it's out of principle.
I think Pitt's a good bet. I think they're the better team. They're at home. It's a bounce back spot. They still have Holstein at quarterback. He's a vet. Lay it with Pitt. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, Boston College's defense not looking good this season. I mean, you allow a Cal team to travel all the way across the country and come back, put up 28 on you.
Who won that game?
Cal, 28-24.
Wow.
BC was winning that game. Cal had staged a bit of a comeback there. Yeah. I'm just thinking, I mean, this is kind of it, right? You have one ACC loss. You're 2-2, but you're not out of this conference that's completely bamboozled at anywhere outside of the top 3. Georgia Tech, Florida State, Miami. Everything else is chaos below, and anything could happen, as we saw Wake Forest almost beat Georgia Tech. So I would lean towards Pitt at home again, as crazy as that sounds.
Doesn't sound crazy. Boston College, didn't they lose to Stanford?
Yes.
Yeah, you're not crazy. Pitt should cover.
Thanks, Alex.
Hey, you bet. And last game on the SICKO slate here, 5 p.m. Central. We got Coastal Carolina taking on Old Dominion. Old Dominion is laying 20.5, over under 54.5.
Yeah, quick note here. Don't need to really dive into it. Old Dominion, listen, they've impressed so far this season. This is a huge havoc play of Old Dominion being superior in havoc allowed and defensive havoc by 70+ places on each statistic versus Coastal, and Coastal cannot score. One outlier of a game against South Alabama, and the other 3 games, I think they combined 13 points. So this is a big Old Dominion play. Don't be scared to lay 3 scores here. ODU at home should take this one.
Okay. All right. Well, a couple other games that we can cover real quick. Lightning round. How does West Virginia possibly cover against BYU? And that's not even saying that BYU is any good, but 19.5 is your spread for Friday night in Utah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, BYU had trouble with ECU, a bad Colorado team.
But they did get wins on the road.
They did get wins, but yeah, I don't know. They're starting to get into that number where it's like, are you getting too many from your record or actual play on the field? And they do look kind of good. I mean, besides a dumbass number, Bachmeier is a shifty little quarterback. Did see BYU have one of the dumbest play. The fucking guy fielded the punt at the half-yard line, and the momentum took his body into the end zone.
Oh.
I mean, that's an absolute – you're getting stickers ripped off the helmet in game tape when you see that back.
Illinois Purdue. Is this upset alert?
Yes. This you know what? We missed the look-ahead game. There's one. Illinois looking ahead to Ohio State and overlooking Purdue.
Purdue might be a little improved. Notice I used the word might and little, but they might be a little improved.
Wow. Don't give them too many compliments at once.
I think they are. I think this has potential to be a very frisky game. I think Purdue has something there offensively. Don't think Illinois' defense is all that good, especially with some of the injuries that they've been dealing with. Not sure if they're getting guys back this week.
This is the rare club sandwich spot with how many layers there are to this game. Get demolished by 60 to a rival. Win as over a touchdown dog at home. Get a rival before getting Ohio State. Like those 4 games, I mean, that's all the emotions involved with those games in that stretch. It's got to get to these Illinois players, right?
Yeah, I mean, just remember last year's game. I mean, Purdue was horrible last year, and they almost beat Illinois in Champaign.
Oh, that's right, 50-49.
Yeah.
Oh man. And yeah, Illinois was 22-point favorites only. And it's like the same teams. That's only less than a year ago.
Except Purdue's better and Illinois is worse. Seriously.
Except Illinois was favored 22, and now they're favored 9.5. So that's where the correction comes into play.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, spread is getting sharp money on Purdue. I think your head might be in the right spot.
Kentucky, Georgia laying 20.5 at home. I mean, certainly feels like a Georgia blowout spot.
I disagree. I like Kentucky's stature here. I like them to keep it within the number. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. But I don't like – they were a candidate for the teaser. I like inside this number here. Kentucky's defense has shown some resolve, playing against Ole Miss, keeping up some points too against Ole Miss as well. So the offense can produce. That run game has been impressive at times. And Georgia just, man, I can't put my finger on what's not impressive about Georgia, but it's just not. I know what it is. They're just not scary. Like, they're just not intimidating right now. It's the logo more than the players on the field. That's all it is.
Yeah, those are all very good points. And Kentucky typically plays Georgia pretty tough. You got any thoughts on Wake Forest versus Virginia Tech? Virginia Tech laying 6.5 at home.
Weird game. Super weird. Virginia Tech looking for back-to-back wins, and Wake pissed off, stolen game. So there's only 2 reactions, right? Wake can just lay down and say everyone's against us, and Virginia Tech keeps it rolling. Or Wake is pissed off, and it's a solid plus money winner right there for you. So it's up to you if you want to roll the dice on it.
Let me ask you this. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, a team that you watched very closely last week. The Washington Huskies travel and play Maryland. Washington is laying 6.5 on the road. Do you think Washington will cover 7 after what you saw against Ohio State? Did you overall like what you saw, but just Ohio State's that good, or do you have concerns?
I'd say that's fair resolve from that game. I like the Washington team. I like Demond. I just think Ohio State is truly that good on defense. Um, this is a super weird spot, dude. Getting off the mat after biggest game of your season, going all the way to Maryland. Maryland off a bye. Dude, this is a weird game when I saw this on the slate. Like, this screams all of a sudden Ohio State's win doesn't look good anymore because Maryland beat them the week after.
Yeah.
Like, in Maryland's 5-0 all of a sudden and hold the phone. Like the most fraudulent 5-0 in history if Maryland wins. It's a weird spot.
It's a very
It's
weird
kind
spot. It's a
it's
good
kind of
point.
this is a great game to like evaluate the stats um, with a little bit of trepidation and really take into effect the travel and like previous week. I think some intangibles are going to come into play with this game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, do we trust Jed Fish to like have the squad ready? I would say yes. Gut reaction.
Yeah, I think so.
Any reason why we shouldn't be laying the 17.5 with SMU against Syracuse in Dallas?
No, that Duke bet was the easiest bet of the day.
Right.
Kicked off the day. They can't do anything on offense. Although, yeah. So I split that game because I was on the over as well. Tried to double dip, and Duke almost got there themselves. Pulled off the gas in the second half. Syracuse, man, didn't hats off to Angeli. I mean, I didn't realize he was looking that good. Um, but maybe that's just also a commentary on there's like no really true backup quarterbacks anymore because they're just transferring out, or who knows? Deeper conversation, but you have to lay 17.5 here. Maybe it's an overcorrection. Do you think it's an overcorrection?
No, I mean, especially given that the game is in Texas. No, I don't. But speaking of Duke, very sneaky, interesting late night game, 9:30 p.m. Central. Duke laying 2.5, juice to -120 on my book against Cal. I know Cal has shown some ups and downs so far this year, but man, dude, how do we not take Duke after what we just saw them do and what their upward trajectory has looked like these last 2 weeks? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I do. I do. Cal's defense is kind of what's been keeping him in. I know JKS has been the story of this true freshman, but he's really struggled the last 2 weeks. And they were lucky to get a win out of Boston College. So uh, I'm not too scared because Cal is also traveling back. I mean, they were just in BC, and Duke's traveling east to west. Both teams are traveling east to west this week. Obviously, Cal went home immediately after the game. Duke's going to fly out, probably Thursday. But I don't mind the travel with a low number like that. I'm happy to support our Blue Devils.
I am too. I'm kind of like buying back their stock after what I've seen the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
I
like
like
Mensa.
I like Mensa as well, and the defense only giving up 3. That's an unbelievably encouraging sign. Kansas UCF. That's an interesting, possibly fun game. Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Central. Kansas travels to Florida. Do you have a thought in that one?
Only anything Kansas or nothing. Like I said, I just don't think UCF is there yet. It's a cute little start. Um, Kansas is the better team.
I see it the same way. Their offense is legit. They would have to really have a full on implosion to lose that one. So I agree with you there. Okay. I mean, there's a few more that we could bring up, but I think we've covered it. That's great.
Yeah, it's going to be a smaller card for me this week for sure. Don't want to force too many plays. There's some ugly games that'll hit the card, but other than that, uh, betting most of the big games.
Yeah. Kind of a strange slate, but there are definitely some spots that I like, especially after talking through the games with you. So, yeah. Anything else you want to cover?
Yeah, let's just go over our teaser real quick. Um, last week, Alex once again 3-0, and I went 1-2 and spoiled the whole thing. So good on me there.
Hey, chin up.
Chin up. Yep. I'm going to stop chasing overs and favorites as I have one favorite on here. Only one. We have 5 dogs. So who are your dogs?
Oh, I'm going to take Purdue and take them up to plus 16 against the Illini. As I talked about, this is a rivalry game that was very close last year. As you talked about, very tricky spot for the Illini. Give me Purdue at home. Kansas State, I'm teasing them up to 13 against Baylor. Hopefully they're showing signs of life. Hopefully they got their confidence back a little bit. I think they can keep it within 13 against Baylor. And then Wisconsin, the diciest play of them all. So it feels, at least as we record here on Wednesday night. Wisconsin teasing them up to plus 24. They got to be better. They got to show something, right? I mean, it's fickle. It's the Badgers. It's Michigan with a freshman quarterback who's making like his 4th career start. Come on. Come on, Badger Nation. Stand up. Cover the 24.
Would you tell Badger Nation to jump around?
Maybe not this year, but
yeah. Okay, yeah, and I'm going Florida State. Get them to plus 11. Virginia, just riding that wave. Hoove wave. Plus 13.5. And then Texas Tech, too much. Get them down to -5. Too much for Houston. Overwhelm. And I think that's a perfect teaser for us to win our second teaser of the year and get you to plus 7 units. Did you have your plays that you currently are on? I know you don't have your full card.
yeah, I mean, typically I don't have a card on our show here, but I can tell you that I will be on Duke -2.5.
Okay. Yeah, wow, suspense. Make everyone wait till the final game of the night.
Worked for me last time. Michigan State, USC.
That's true. It sure did. I will say this missed the sicko. We should start betting because, I mean, you just do it. Although there's a good NFL game Thursday night, Sam Houston State versus New Mexico State. Do you have a play in that, Alex?
I can't say I do.
I'm riding the over, baby. Bearcats possibly get their first win. All right. Anyway, the card so far: Western Kentucky, Delaware over on Friday. Vanderbilt plus 10.5. Ohio State minus 23.5. And then I have my MAC plays. I have the under in UMass Western. I have the under in Ohio Ball State 51.5. And then pending quarterback play, Akron plus. And then pending quarterback play, Miami minus. I've got over Eastern Michigan Buffalo all so far. And then I would like that Duke game. I'd also like that Duke spread with Mayer. And then the under in the Naval Academy game, 51.5. I think it's at its peak. Probably start betting down. Other than that, just monitoring a few other plays here. One just disgusting, ugly game that really probably shouldn't be betting is Oregon State at Appalachian State. Oregon State's 0-5. App State coming off a brutal beating at Boise, coming back across the country. Oregon State is not a defeated team. They're not an 0-12 team. They have talent to win. They're only plus 1.5. I'll be taking Oregon State money line this week on the card. You.
And you left that out of sicko mode, huh?
I forgot it. It was so sick that I forgot it. I left it behind like a ugly redheaded stepchild.
It deserved its own segment.
Truly did. Yep.
Anything else, Burns?
No, I don't think so. It's join me on Friday for the final cards, the parlay, and the round robin segment. A lot of dogs this week, so last week was forced. I'm feeling good about this week's round robin.
Shout out to Northwestern for beating UCLA last week. Let's go Wildcats. John Mateer, rest up, buddy. We really want to see you against Texas. And I still think Josh Hoover is the best quarterback in college football. Thank you.
Bye. Love you.